Today is May 26th. The Yankees take 2 out of 3 from the Fathers. Happy Memorial Day weekend, and what an inning. Let's talk Yanks. Soto, Judge, Stanton. Thank you. Thank you.
John Boy Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, presented to you by SeatGeek. Go enjoy a game. Thank you so much to SeatGeek for sponsoring and partnering with Talkin' Yanks and John Boy Media as a whole. And if you've ever used SeatGeek, if you haven't used it, code YANKS10 will get you 10% off any tickets at SeatGeek, whether you want to go see the Yanks play when they come back from their West Coast trip. Whether you are a remote Yankee fan, like when this show was built and want to go see them on the West Coast trip, or maybe you want to go see, BBD's Blue Shirts, my Inter Miami. It's SeatGeek. They're the best in the biz. Code YANKS10 for 10% off your next order. Click the link in the description. My name is Jake Storielli. I'm here with David Mendelson today. James sent the text a little bit ago. He's like, I am sick and sleepy. He said, you know what?
He was down.
It's Memorial Day. I asked him, I was like, hey, do you want to wait till tomorrow or something? It starts to get a little too far away. He's like, I think I'm going to have the same problem tomorrow. So,
Didn't feel one sleep away.
yeah. So, we will get into it. Me and BBD were in the lab watching our Yanks, unfortunately, lose the final game to the Padres. But, man, they continue to roll on. The starting pitching continues to make history. Judge continues to make history. We got one of the more memorable innings in recent Yankee baseball with the three wise men, the three big men, hitting signature home runs of sorts. So, we've got house creeping. We've got awards. BBD, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. It was a good series. Any West Coast trip series you win, you take that.
Right.
It became kind of a weird loss, I guess. Like in theory, this is a bad one, but
yeah, I mean the 4-run sixth inning. That's not how you draw it up, but baseball happens, and I don't know. I mean, if we're looking to get mad at that, we're looking to get mad at everything. Clark looked okay. If not good. The Yankees are 19-10 on the road this year. Mm-hmm. A lot of good Yankee stats. And as they begin this 3-series West Coast trip, which they do have an off day tomorrow, that'll be nice. But yeah, I think it's late games, later games even, and yeah, it's funny. I mean, some people probably love hearing this, some people probably hate hearing this. The Saturday game, Friday was great. Fun game, Yankees dominance, other sports. I'm having myself a heck of a Friday night. Last night, still good. Watched the entire game. Yanks are booming. Take down Dylan Cease and the Padres, who have been playing a very good brand of baseball recently. 9th inning comes along. And I fell asleep in the 9th inning, which on the couch, just kind of brutal. If you see me shimmering and shaking a lot on the YouTube, A, thanks for subscribing. B, neck just killing me. I think back-to-back nights, I think I got it funky. But yeah, I was so proud. I was like, hey, I've cranked through this Yankee game, West Coast Yankees. We got those weird highlights. Who was that old pitcher who took his shirt off and fought?
Ed Whitson?
Whitson. And it's like perfect. This is a perfect Yankees West Coast trip. And then 9th inning, Clay's in. I wake up, it's 2 a.m. So that was just a little bummer on my end. But the Yanks look good. Judge looks like the best ever. And we do have some groundskeeping, BBD.
Yeah, sneaky, juicy groundskeeping. Nick Birdie, he goes back on the 15-day IL at the beginning of this series. He has hip inflammation.
Was he hip last time?
I believe it was arm. Oh, maybe it was hip. He has a serious. I think it was hip last time. Actually,
I think so.
He has a long history of arm stuff.
Yeah.
So we see Yoendris Gomez come up, look electric in an inning. We'll probably get to that. Ian Hamilton supposedly feels fine. He was eligible to be activated today. They are going to wait till Tuesday. Presumably, Yogo's going down to make room for him. I was looking at the roster. Nobody else is optionable. So unless there's a new injury, that should be the move Tuesday morning. The biggest one is John Birdie. He goes on the 10-day IL. We watched him get hurt. They're calling it a high-grade calf strain. Looked very scary.
Yeah, that stunk.
Thought it could have been an Achilles, so you'll take calf over. But high grade, he'll be out a while.
Yeah.
If it's a grade 3 which they haven't put a number on there, but that typically means
Jahmai Jones.
Jahmai Jones seems like he'll survive because Kevin Smith comes up to replace him for a couple days. DJ goes on the 60-day IL to open up the 40-man spot for Kevin Smith, but DJ will require a 40-man spot. That means on Tuesday when he returns, and Kevin Smith, I would assume, is the guy going down. It could be him or Jahmai, but it's Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
And then in positive news, Jason Dominguez on his rehab assignment did hit a home run.
Okay.
And we're watching it together right now on the YouTube.
Okay.
He crushed it.
Jason
crushed a
Dominguez in Somerset. Yeah, I know the big ones there, or the bigger ones. Obviously, next time we record this, DJ will be on the active roster, so that's pretty exciting. And John Birdie, it's why we try not to deep dive unless things are really happening, because the baseball gods just find a way. Birdie goes down, sucks, and was like an ugly injury. That if you watch sports, you see anyone go down like that, non-contact, and you start thinking about a lot worse injuries. So it'll be interesting to see the timeline with him in a calf, because it's bad. And Paul O'Neill on the broadcast, Paul gets deep into the numbers, was like, you use the calf every day. So analytics Paulie kicking in. So DJ will come back, and there will be some less questions around playing time as that sorts out. And then Hamilton, yeah, he was... They said he was supposed to come back today. I think it was very clearly... I think they've been trying to get Ian Hamilton's shoulder rest, because whether it's just health usage, maybe there was a COVID scare, whatever it is, Ian Hamilton hasn't looked like the dominant form of Ian Hamilton we've seen in a little bit. So will be interesting to see him as he comes back. Because, man, we talked to Booney a lot this offseason, and he was big on Hamilton. That you always wonder, is that one of those things that got forced because the back end of the bullpen wasn't scary and Hamilton is kind of scary? Or will he tap back in, and it'll be one of those, man, relievers can have their bad stretches and bounce back. So we will see. Are we going to Anaheim or San Francisco next?
Anaheim, then San Francisco.
Okay. Anaheim has been playing awful baseball.
Mm-hmm.
If that's something you're into. I think I saw something like 10-28 in their last 38 games. Or
yeah, the boots we've had on the ground over there, I've said it doesn't feel great watching, so nice soft landing for DJ's return. We'll take that. Speaking
of soft landings, how about your biscuits? And I'm talking about the real deal. Tommy John. I wear Tommy John every day, as I do with all these ad reads. I end up showing my boxers on YouTube. 1, because I have no shame. 2, because they're my everyday. Tommy John is my everyday underwear. I had one pair. I famously told this story a lot. I used to plan my week, like which day I'm going to wear them. Like, oh, I'm going to the Yankee game on Thursday. I'm going to save my Tommy Johns. I took a step back and said, that's ridiculous. Go out, buy yourself more of these. I loaded up. It's only Tommy John for me now. And they have some different styles and brands. I bought the Hodgepodge. They've got an athletic one. They've got a leisure one. They got the second skin ones going on. I would grab bag it, see which one you like. Everyone's got a little different preference. You'd think the athletic one would be my favorite, and I'm actually wearing them right now, so I like them. But I forget if it's the second skin or one of the other ones that I if I do a laundry day and I'm having a big night, I go there. So that was my sample texting. Testing. Testies. Go to TommyJohn.com/Yanks. 30% off site-wide. And they have a best pair you'll ever wear. It's free guarantee, so that's pretty good. 30% off site-wide at TommyJohn.com/Yanks. There's a link in the description. Go check them out. Let's talk about these games a little bit.
Okay.
Baby Carlos and the Yanks would hope there's no hangover after winning their final 2 games against Seattle, with the whirling dervish known as you getting the start for San Diego. A sac fly in the first for Judge makes it 1-0 Yanks, but don't get filled up on chips. That's just the appetizer. Top 3, S-O-T-O, Soto. The good Lord will judge us all. Hit the music, Giancarlo. Let the rhythm take you over, Giancarlo. Te quiero. Bullet homers. A Hall of Fame inning from the Yanks Hall of Famers. It's 6-0 Yanks. Make it 7 with a round of Glaber bombs. Haven't said that a lot this year. Rodon, he sure did. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 0 earned run to Santana to Y-O-G-O, Yogo. Yanks take game 1, 8-0 final. This is a beautiful thing. You come into a game hoping to see the Stars play well. Was it Gehrig, Mantle, or DiMaggio who said you don't know which time it might be a kid watching you for the first time? Was that even one of them, or was that another old timer? And I'm just
I think it is DiMaggio.
Stealing it for Yankee lore. An all-time memorable inning against Yu Darvish, who his past 4 starts, he had not given up an earned run.
Was it a 25-inning scoreless streak to open?
Right around there.
He had been really good. It was a little back of the head, like, all right, tough pitching matchups coming up between him, Cease, Musgrove is the 3 you're going to face in San Diego, and they get one in the first immediately and then put together the incredible inning.
Yeah, the Volpe leadoff triple, Judge sac fly, and then, that 3rd inning, Judge homers, which, again, the streak he is on right now after Soto had homered against his former team, and you forget there's emotions there. This was a city that was sad to see Juan Soto leave, but not like broken, as Yankee fans would be if he leaves after this year. And the way they did it, a couple loopy curveballs from you and just monster, almost signature home runs from 3 signature all-time baseball players that, that probably happens around 10:15, 10:30 p.m. You got a 6-0 lead on the board. That's how a Friday night Memorial Day weekend trip should start.
Yeah. I was in bed, late night game, literally laughing out loud just at the Judge homer, and then when Stanton drops his on the table, that was a good feeling.
And we saw, and what gets left out of the story that would have made it probably played on Yes Classics tonight, maybe it still will be, I don't know. Verdugo just missed a homer, dropped at the base of the wall there. That would have, potentially been back-to-back, which doesn't happen a lot. Rodon continues on. There's, Jim's tweet was, that's a late night specialist tweet right there. We have it up on the YouTube, all 4 of those swings. Rodon maybe getting talked about later. The strikeouts weren't there. Again, that's never been something we've cared about too much on this program. I don't know if there's any bucket to put that in.
Yeah, I don't have a specific plan for him later, but it's a good start.
Yeah, I guess I'm trying in my head, do I think a lot of these Padres are contact hitters? Right now Donovan Solano's in their lineup. That's what he's known for. Arise is now in there. And no, when you get a result like that, don't care at all, really.
Yeah, this was something that came up in like the the voicemail episode last week. Check that out, me and Joe's. Just you look at Rodon's game logs. I know some of those early ones, the vibes around him weren't great, but just purely innings runs. Outside of that Baltimore game where he got 3 homers, you would take all of those. It is a good-looking game log.
Yeah, he had a bad back-to-back effect where he had those Rizzo, Jazz Chisholm runs charged to him.
Yeah.
And then right around there, he had that Orioles start that it was like, okay, the Rodon train hasn't fully left the station. It has. I mean, in talking Yanks lore, we should not count the Jazz Chisholm runs, and his ERA would be even lower than that 2.95 he has going.
Yeah, with the Chisholm runs.
That's awesome. The Yankees' rotation and the records they're starting to set with some consecutive start streaks. And then it's the insane part, and Michael K., I think K-Ster knows that on the West Coast broadcast he has just a little more liberty. And I don't know, maybe it's something with being up late. Maybe there's more kids to bed. Maybe I'm overthinking it, being up late. I forget if it was this game or the second game, but he was talking about Matt Blake and the Yankees pitching and how good it's been. And we've obviously done this. We've talked about everything on Talkin' Yanks. But K-Ster was like, it is really insane what Matt Blake has been able to do on the back end of a bullpen. Like, almost anyone they've tried to tap into, they've done it. And the other thing, I forget if Kay had a line or if this is where my mental tangent started going, but there's never been a guy back there that, correct me if I'm wrong, there's never been a guy back there that's felt like a Matt Blake project that's been terrible that they've just stuck with.
Like there hasn't been the failure that they just won't give up
like
on.
There hasn't been a guy that, throws 99 and they like something else about him and they keep throwing him in the 8th inning and he gets hit. I mean, maybe that's not Matt Blake credit because baseball just moves faster than that. I mean, we see guys get demoted and promoted in the bullpen pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, it's the Yankees full-blown party trick that, think about a couple years removed how much money we had invested in the bullpen. And now our current real investments are Holmes and Canely. Holmes on the last year of his arbitration. Canely with a fine free agent reliever deal. I mean, you could throw Luke Weaver in the mix with that, but he also signed that funky contract we talked about last time because they didn't know if he'd be a spot starter for them or whatever. It is just an insane... It feels like a video game skill they have. Like, basically, you'll be able to put a bullpen together with whoever's back there. And I'm emphasizing this now, even though Game 3 is a different story, that Dennis Santana and Yoendris Gomez come in for the final 3 innings, 0 hits, 0 walks, 4 Ks, including Yogo with 3 in 1 inning.
Gross.
It's pretty unreal. In Matt Blake, we trust.
Yeah, the fact, I can't even think of, I'm sure the Yankees would have a list, but I can't even think of one that's that's the guy Matt Blake tried out that didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost that they don't need that. It's almost like they...
he does works, and they are typically able to just do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's like a financial place that hires 8 kids out of college and just doesn't get attached to any of them because they know 4 aren't going to work out. But
yeah, I guess it's probably they bring in a lot of guys every spring, and I'm sure some they can identify okay, no.
The 4 that do.
But they know 3 of these will work, and that's cool.
Let's see. I think the only other story from this game besides, God, I used to do this a lot when the Yankees weren't hitting last year. The Padres box score, there's no extra base hits. There's nothing. 3 hits only. Pretty insane what they did to a strong Padres offense, although they have been struggling against lefties lately. I was tipped off on that before the game. And the only other thing, there was a lot of conversation online, was Yu Darvish tipping. And I don't know, the thing that I thought was interesting was I saw that people were saying that Campusano, the young catcher, may have been tipping his pitches by setting up a little early. Again, you guys know Jom's normally the deep dive on that guy. But I hadn't seen any follow-up since that, so I don't think anything was proven.
Yes, I saw one tweet about that. I did notice during that game, after Judge's first at-bat, I noticed him going, he and Stanton had kind of an extended dialogue, so is that straight up tipping or just talking about one specific thing? Can be the same thing. I don't know.
Right.
I've never been in that conversation.
Yeah.
But, they at least had an extended conversation. I would imagine they played some role in the big inning the next time those three all came up.
Well, the next time those three came up was also in Game 2. It's a bad segue. The Yanks would try to be gamers in SoCal and play some MLB The Stro with Marcus on the bump, while Dylan would try to cease their winning ways. Yeah, Dylan, I don't know about the mustache or wearing number 84, and he plays disc golf. C. Scott Judge, 2-run homer for the captain. It's 2-0 Yanks after 1. In the fourth, Tony shows his riz with an RBI single, and the sac fly is underrated for Baby Glaby. It's 4-0 Yanks after 4, and it'd stay that way until the 8th. Fernando! He weaves a dream of his own. It's a solo shot off Luke, but that would be it. 6-shot piece from Stroman to Weaver to Clay. Yanks win 4-1 final. Where should we go with this one, Beebs?
Well, they were getting hits off of Cease, and who I think was coming in. He had the best batting average against among qualified starters. He and Heel were 1 and 2. I forget who was 1, who was 2. But that was the fun fact I saw on Twitter after or during the game, and they had 5 hits against him through 3 or 4 innings or something. They were getting to him again early. I think, did Volpe get his hitting streak going again on the very first pitch?
I think so. Yeah, first pitch single.
Think so. Yeah. We got to find out 84 is about yoga. They mentioned that on the broadcast.
Yeah, you know what?
I didn't know he had a reason for that number.
I walked back my West Coast silliness broadcast. I'll take it back. I mean, what Caster and O'Neill and Mayer, they were killing Mayer for being chilly, and then even today's broadcast talking about the sunset stuff. They were having a good time. Good times in Yankee land. Yeah, and it's just a comedy show, dude. Like I take Noodle out every night so he can use the bathroom. Pretty courteous of me. And so it's 9:30. Take the dog out. Come back in the house. 9:40. 9:38 first pitch. It's 2-0 Yankees. And it's Judge, who we've talked about it, and we'll talk about it more, but he's having one of the best stretches of his career, and his career includes a year where he broke the AL home run record, a year where he won Rookie of the Year. And BBD, I don't know if we're saving it for later. I know you tried to research some different splits that you found. What was it, a 30-day split or something?
I have a couple things on Judge for later, potentially.
Yeah.
But there's some 27-game splits. One of the best ones he was in was during the period he hurt that toe.
Yeah.
In one of the span finders I was messing with on StatHead.
Get yourself a stat head. What about Stroman? Stroman goes 6 innings, 3 hits, 0 earned run, 1 walk, 5 Ks. The Yankees starting pitching stats are disgusting. I know one popped up today. In the past 13 games, they're 11-1 with a 0.78 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
Just silly. Did we see anything different from Stroman in this game? This is back-to-back great starts for him.
Yeah, I don't think I personally noticed anything really. He's good. Yeah. 1 walk, which the walks were something we were eyeing. just a couple weeks ago. And, back-to-back really strong ones.
KT Sharp, the queen of stats. 12th time a Yankees starting pitcher has pitched at least 6 scoreless innings. That's the most in Major League Baseball. Yankees did that 11 times the entire last season. Mm-hmm. And that includes Garrett Cole, who won the Cy Young.
Yeah, I think he was at least 6 of those. So
crazy.
Yeah, 3 straight games of over 6 innings for Stroman. 1 run in those 3 starts earned. So
Nestor is the low man on the totem pole with a 3.29 ERA right now. All right, the high man, technically. Heel 2.11, Schmidt 2.59 coming into today. Stro 2.76, Rodon 2.95. Jimmy fell in love with the phrase Cole and the question marks. And it sure was last year. We knew something was going to come together, whether it was Stroman, the Rodon bounce back, the Nestor bounce back, Heel and Schmidt. No one truly had that on their bingo card.
No one really had this. I feel like I was among the more optimistic people on the internet on Schmidt, and I was thinking it's like, yeah, ERA maybe into the 3s and just like do that over the full season. Like, don't have a 9-start period where you're just bad, because last year it was a feeling out period, then that good stretch in the middle, and then I think clearly just ran out of gas. So a little bit eyeing that, I suppose, as we get towards the end of the year. We're at the 1/3 mark. Everybody's been good.
Another play in this game. Stroman allows the leadoff triple by Cronenworth down the line.
Oh.
And Stroman locked in and gets 2 fly balls to left and another pop-up, I think. And a little credit to Verdugo. Cronenworth on third. He's got pretty good speed. I mean, he hit a triple to lead off the inning. That if that's a left fielder with not a great arm, that's in kind of left center. Like, if that's a Brett Gardner, who we compliment his defense a lot, that's probably a run on the board.
There's a lot of guys who one of these run gets attempted on, particularly that first one.
Yeah, I mean, the first one is a sac fly ball that I think everyone would shrug and be like, yeah, he did his job. He got in the outfielder. Cronenworth could run. But Verdugo is known for his arm. The throw is a little offline, but especially with, I think, no outs, I think Cronenworth, that was also part of the reason he didn't run. If there was 1 out, maybe chances that a little more. But, again, outfield defense, which is something that we talked about a lot last year. These classically trained outfielders, it's a good formula. Martha Stewart, it's a good thing. Let's wrap it up, because unfortunately the last game isn't as fun.
Yeah, umps were weird in this one. I don't know if that requires any more conversation than that.
Umps. It's a Clark in the park as the Yanks try to sweep the Daddies against Disco Joe Musgrove. We are shut out through the first 5, and then mama, there goes that man again. Let's put 1 on the board as Soto doubles to center. Volpe scores. It's 1-0 Yankees. Unfortunately, a 6th inning from hell. Merrill, Kim, Arise, Tatis, a bunt single, an infield single, and a Rise single. Padres put up 4 that inning, and Machado doubles down with an RBI the next. Hey, we're not going down without a fight. Verdugo homers off Suarez to break off a scoreless streak of his own. The Yanks lose the final game in San Diego. Clark, 5 innings, 1 earned run. Gonzo gets gonzoed. Padres win 5-2, but Yanks win the series 2 games out of 3. Another thing that got highlighted in this game, Jeremiah Estrada came in out of the bullpen for San Diego, 1.2 innings, 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, and he struck out every batter. So that was a bit of a game changer after Joe Musgrove was very solid. I don't know. There's a little bit of where the Yankees, we expect it to win every game, and that's where we like to be. But, yeah, you put one on the board through 8 innings, and you have 1 inning from hell that comes to burn you.
Yeah, people are hot on the Glaber error, as they will always be.
Yeah.
But they didn't score enough.
Yeah. Has Glaber's... I guess we've had a couple errors recently that have both been in losing efforts in kind of innings from hell. The Mariners inning in that first game where he throws it away. Again, there's some other bad luck in that inning. I don't know. I guess I was just going to say Glaber's defense hasn't been super on the forefront, but his lack of hitting and now 2 errors in the past week, I don't know if I can fully make that argument.
Yeah. His bat's doing enough of late that there's a better knife to be done that I was thinking about for later. But, yeah, that one, it is a bad one, and it does get that inning started, so I get why people are hot on it. But, I don't know. Hard to put that on just him.
Glaber butter knife. Oh, there's a way. We can save that.
With the 2 hits today.
Yeah, 2 weeks. OPS in the 8s. Okay, Glibber. I don't know. Yanks lose 1 out of 3.
It wasn't any of the relievers that I need to be that guy that were part of the problem either. Like,
yeah, you want those guys to be more of guys, but I don't.
Yeah, all of these guys I would like to be awesome and be that next step, but
it feels like in a way Victor and the Ferg, the 2 Dodger lefties, like they almost, we're not letting them fully into our hearts until they give us a reason to. Suarez is wild for San Diego. The fact he throws 95% fastballs, that's just silly. And I don't know. I guess kind of closing, putting a bow on this before we get to awards. The Padres, they are 500 after winning today, 28-28. God, they're a team that is going to be bizarre until they're not. It looks like they're 11-18 at home this year. That's weird. They had a very good record against teams with winning records coming into this series. They were 17-14. There's only 5 teams in baseball that had winning records against winning teams. So, San Diego was kind of up for this series. They've been playing a better brand of baseball. And for the Yankees to come in and for everyone to look like how they're supposed to look, plus the starting pitching being out of their dome, we're still rolling high. Still rolling crazy high.
yeah.
Anything else from today? I don't...
Chat's reminding us that Glaber also gets picked off in this game. They got
Not great.
Higgy with the glove down signal. So that is 2. That is 2.
Yeah, Glaber.
So maybe it's tough for one of the things that's coming up soon. The both together might make him a candidate. I don't know.
I guess we will see. Let's go on to the second half of the show where we give out prides, MFers, awards, and these are all things you could find on LinkedIn. When you're hiring for your small business, you want to find quality professionals that are the right role for you. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. It has the tools to find the right professionals for your team. I'm a basic math guy. They've got a lot of information on here, like 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate in 24 hours. That's good. Know what my math says? If you're someone looking for a job or in your career, you're on LinkedIn. So if you're looking to hire someone, LinkedIn is the place where you got to be. That's where they are. Supply and demand. Business 101 by me. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Yanks. That's linkedin.com/Yanks to post your job for free. There's a link in the description. LinkedIn, Takalua link, link sausage, golf links, link up. Let's do it.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Pride of the Yankees.
Yeah.
It's Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows my situation until the All-Star game, usually. So, Beebs, I do think you get to pick a Pride of the Yankees first.
I believe I have the honors, and there are a few candidates.
Yeah.
But I think the one that has made me the most proud, I'm going to get to Anthony Volpe.
Okay.
He
Go off, King.
Hits in every game, extending the hitting streak. I like that he takes care of the hitting streak early in I think all the games. Maybe the middle one had happened later. No, 2 hits in that one. So it didn't even become like it's on the line. And this isn't including today's games, but his numbers during the hit streak, it's more than just like getting his one hit a game. He has a 920 OPS in the 18 games leading up to today. 333 average. You'd like him to walk a little more, but whatever. He's not getting a lot of balls ahead of Soto and Judge. Slugging's at 551 entering today. He gets the triple that sets the tone early. I think he doubles. And I straight up love the defense. I've graduated to that point. That's more of a general note, not even anything from this series, but I've grown to really like his shortstop play and it feels very, very plus. I know he won the Gold Glove last year, so that's a little silly to say out loud, but I like what we saw from Volpe.
He's better. He's better this year on defense, where, like you said, he won the Gold Glove, and if you want to keep it kind of that surface level, when you went around the AL last year for Gold Glove winners, it looked like it was him or Bobby Witt. Volpe got the nod. And he's gotten better this year, visibly in a lot of different ways. And he led the team in on-base percentage this series. So if Anthony Volpe is doing that, if there's a series where Anthony Volpe leads the team in on-base percentage, the Yankees have probably won that series because the men behind him are monsters, are absolute monsters. That's a good pick, Beebs. The hitting streak's getting real, huh? We're seeing names pop up on the screen. Cano, Jita.
And it's the longest Yankee streak since whatever. It's been a while. Then you factor in some age stuff, and it's getting up there on longest among Yankees under 23 or 23 and younger. Wish I had those stats right in front of me. Don't. But yeah, it's in a territory, and there's a slightly longer just get on base safely streak that, whatever, those are less renowned. The hit streak's cool. And the numbers are good, even beyond, like he's getting his slug. He's getting multiple hits in a lot of games. He's doing that, playing shortstop. He's up top. And he's going to stay up top when DJ's back. That was the news we got. I forget if there was a better spot I was thinking of to have this conversation.
And no, I mean, it falls in perfectly. If you don't know, Boone said that Volpe will remain in the leadoff spot when DJ comes back. So it'll be fun to see the lineup on Tuesday, and we'll be talking with Boone. So maybe we'll play a classic Boone interview game of Guess That Lineup. That DJ would probably be 7-6.
There's a little bit who goes down. Do you want to ruffle feathers? In theory, the easiest move is just put him in the Oswaldo spot in the 8 or 9, depending, and just say, like, well, he's just coming back from injury, so this is a little bit extended rehab, but is that rude to DJ? Would it be really rude to Glaber, who is kind of hitting, to move him down even more? Does Rizzo deserve that? Like, they breaking up righties.
Well, I guess if it's Austin Wells catching, who Trevino caught today, and I'm pretty sure it's a righty, You have to keep the balance down there. Otherwise, I was going to say if it's the 3 righties, you just bat the catcher last because the catchers are used to that. But it's probably DJ Wells Glaber. And they just say, like, you know, when Glaber got called up, he was used to that role.
Yeah.
I don't know. Interesting. Well,
somebody's going to feel weird in all of that.
Remind us to ask Boone in a half silly way.
Figure out our lane for asking him that.
It's a good pride. Anthony Volpe, man. My pride of the Yankees. Let's see. The pitchers are interesting.
Mm-hmm.
God. Both put up very similar stat lines. Hey, man. Sometimes you got to make the layups. I'm taking Judge. First player in MLB history. MLB has a lot of history. Analytics. This was the stat from yesterday's game. 12 doubles and 11 home runs in a 20-game span. And, you know, when you hear those numbers, you're like, okay. I mean, 11 home runs in 20 games. More than half. 12 doubles, also more than half. And then when the stat pops up, he's the first player in MLB history to do that. Hitting with power better than anyone that's played the game. And like we alluded to, Beebs, you have a couple more stats on that.
Yeah. I mean, well, I have a few notes on Judge. If you didn't pride him, I was going to give him the lapping award. The doubles he's hitting this year, he's sneaky just not been a doubles guy in his career. He already has 18 this season. His career high, I believe, is 28. He is on pace entering today for like 54, which is nearly doubling or lapping. Yankee center fielders entering today have a 3.1 F-WAR. He is the primary Yankee center fielder. The next best team has 1.5. They are lapping center fielders right now. Just Judge has been incredible. It's now such a long period. He's leading the league in a bunch of things. I think he just lost the homer lead again, but whatever. He's right there for that too.
No idea how
He's
the
incredible.
vote would go. Just because, like, you know, Gunner's been really good. Bobby Witt's been great. Soto's been great. Judge has a very easy argument for American League MVP right now. It's May 26th. It's Memorial Day weekend. Hope you guys are enjoying. But this is a guy that by the end of last month, we were still doing like, is he banged up? Is anything wrong, but is anything wrong? We talked about if he was standing too far from the plate. And we had some people send us some screenshots and such. But end of the day, he's Aaron Judge. And I did this on here, but I went and looked back. And he's had a couple Aprils where, again, the stat line is like the normal person's good. Like Alex Verdugo's good stat line. But for Judge, the expectations are so high, and this is why. And now he's all the way back to one of the best players in baseball.
And he, you know, obviously he's a really good player. Like, you should look at his baseball reference page sometimes. 986 career OPS. It's crazy.
It's rare air. That's genuinely rare air.
Over his last 3 seasons, last year's 267, 406, 613 with a 1 dot is the outlier negative of his last 3. Depends how you want to think. He's so good.
1 dotted the last 317 games. So, watch out. Let's do this Band-Aid style.
You Yankee motherfucker.
David?
Yeah, no need to linger. I'll give mine to the Ferg. His run was sort of the backbreaker. It was like, all right, this game's a little over, and he hasn't had a period of feeling like good. Gonzalez, I feel like, has put together some stretches where I look up and I'm like, he's actually been good. And the Ferg hasn't. had that feeling. I want him to be good because having a good lefty's cool, and he has a track record that I keep wanting to believe in, but it hasn't been there. It hasn't felt right, and today was the backbreaker as far as the run he gave up, feeling like the game was over.
Yeah, I mean, we've done the bullpen deal and spiel, and yeah, I mean, Caleb's a guy we kind of got excited for a little bit coming into the year, and it feels like that's washed away. That you hope it doesn't get into a bad place. I mean, right now, Yogo is still in the bullpen. I think he goes for Hamilton, although he's down to his last option. Didn't realize that. It's pretty crazy. Not
He
for
can be
this
sent up and
season.
down. This is the last year he can be sent up and down.
And when Hamilton has options, so when he's on the team, whatever, but we did a whole episode whether the Yankees would ever actually do that, which is kind of crazy. Nobody else in the Yankees bullpen has options. So that'll be an interesting thing to see how they tightrope it, because I've talked about how I think we're going to look at our bullpen at some point in August, September, and compare it to April, May, and kind of laugh. Maybe we won't, though, because a lot of these guys, the Yankees don't like losing pieces, and you'd have to lose these pieces if you want to do something else. It's a good MF for Beebs.
Yeah. And there's not a ton of obvious guys.
Yeah, right? Like
you could do Glaber for the two things, and we kind of already talked about those, but he did hit this series, so I felt weird. Even, we'll get into award stuff, but Rizzo Stanton, the numbers aren't good.
You know what? Just pair him up. Gonzo. I mean, he ends up getting 2 of the earned runs today. I know it's a slop fest of it. Slop him up! But it's a little bit don't care either. They lost one game, and in a way it was because of those 2 guys. So in theory, we've done the system proper. And in theory, I don't talk like that. We've done the system proper. Jeez. Yeah, let's move on. The Yanks did their job. They kind of won the games early on in West Coast time, so that even if you aren't old, you could go to bed knowing the Yankees were going to win.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Okay, let's go to awards. Awards are brought to you by something I guarantee you would use. It's the Yes app. The Yes app is the ultimate viewing experience on all your devices. You can stream games with enhanced live stat overlays on mobile and connected TVs. Earn Yes rewards. Check your balance in the Yes app. You may already be earning points, and you get gift cards or merch. If you get Yes on TV, which you probably do if you're listening to Talkin' Yanks, then you get the Yes app for free. So download the app now or sign up for an annual or monthly subscription. Use the app a lot. During the 7th inning today, I left to grab a bite to eat at the local bodega. Watched it on the Yes app. Yeah, if you're a Yankee fan and you kind of don't have the Yes app,
one way or
easy
another.
win. It's just an easy win for you.
Good option to have.
Speaking of easy wins, BBD, your first award.
My first award, I'm giving out the Streets Award.
The Streets. You could say that just for the streets. It's hot in the streets. It's hot in the streets. Let's go Luke Weaver.
I wish. It is going to Anthony Rizzo.
Damn.
He stepped up to go hit the breaking balls, and he's done that before. Step Up to the Streets is a movie. I remember last year it was a thing that when righties were going to attack him with the changeup, or was that 22? Either way, he would take a step up, and he would go fish for that changeup because I'll just go catch it before it breaks. He did it again, notably in this series. The broadcast was all over it. Jimmy put out a good video about it as well. So Rizzo stepped up, delivered. The stats on the series aren't pretty, but he got an RBI off of that. The couple hits he did get it was cool. It's a cool thing to do. I like when I can see a player decide to do something and it pays off.
And they had the perfect camera for it. That over-the-top cam that Jim put in his video. It's wild to see. And this has been a popular conversation in baseball because we've had a ton of catchers' interferences. Wilson Contreras got hit and like broke his forearm or whatever it was. We've seen Rizzo do this in the past. We saw him do it against Cease, that he got the RBI single. And then we saw him do it against Musgrove today. The Padres knew it was coming, so Musgrove stuck with the fastball. Rizzo, because his hands are so quick, he hit it on a line. It was right at Musgrove. Musgrove snared it and made a nice catch. So kind of bizarre, because it was also funny to see on the other side, Luis Arraez was doing some of this. So I don't know. We always wonder what's the next step or future of baseball. If you can control the bat, this is an odd skill to have, but Rizzo has it. And I was a little mad you did it because I was going to talk about it.
So many guys around the league stand as far back as possible because you can get the catcher's interference and just having as much time with these velocities coming at you. So it is a little bit breaking a mold to be doing it. I'm sure a lot of guys would say, I do this, but...
Yeah, but it's not so dramatic.
Yeah, it was a big step up.
So it took
it's like a full foot.
A crow hop in the box.
And he like kind of waited till like the last second to do it. Like Cease was set.
Step up 2 in the streets, huh?
Step up to the streets.
That's fine. Okay, I can audible. There's someone I want to give an award to. It is the High School Mixtape Award.
High School Mixtape. Thinking of cool things to do. Soto?
You're close. It's Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton, in my head, was like, oh, this was fine. You know, Stanton was there this series. He only had one hit, and it was the Mammo homer off Darvish. And it's funny, if you made a mixtape from the series, you'd say, oh, Stanton was Stanton in this series. It was just that swing. No walks, 6 strikeouts. It's actually an ugly box score if that's not a homer. But it was a cool homer, a homer that stood out. And like we've talked a lot about with Stanton, the homers are there. The stat line is half there. It's a weird one, but it's half there. A slugging with starting in the 5s coming into this series, so you take that. And you know what I've liked? They've been combining Soto, Judge, and Stanton's home run numbers. I think at one point they said the 3 of them had more home runs than 4 teams. And that was a very Yankee stat. If you see that and you're a fan of one of the teams that has less homers than those 3 guys, it's one of those reasons teams hate Yankee fans, and we're kind of like, what have we done? We're not even winning titles recently. You shouldn't hate us. And then you see a stat like that, and you're like, I could see why you might dislike us. So yeah, I mean, kind of, man, I feel like just the other day, all of his stats look good, and now 240 batting average, actually, and that's lower after today. 235.
0 for 4 4Ks today.
And I think he's the record holder for that. I forget if it's recent MLB history, but Golden Sombreros, he got him. But yeah, now the batting average is at 235. The on base is at 283. So I don't know. I mean, Stanton's stat line is going to be a big one. Could be interesting. You know, we've talked about DJ. Just the dynamic of this lineup going forward. I don't know.
Yeah.
Funk. Fred Funk. What's your funky last award?
Funky last word. Trying to figure out who needs a discussion as this show really goes. Talked about a lot of guys. And what do you call this? I'll go the sneaky streaking award.
The sneaky streaking award. Okay, who's sneaky streaking for you? It's not Anthony Volpe. It's not a sneaky streak.
That streak ain't sneaky.
How about, who haven't we not talked about? Alex Verdugo.
It is Alex Verdugo. He has an 11-game hitting streak right now, I think. Let me double check that number. 8-game hitting streak right now. He has hits in, I think, 13 of 14. And he's getting his extra base hits. I think he has hits in all 3 games of this series. He's just been really good. The arms have been awesome. I don't know. Verdugo's awesome. Big part of the team. He one of the few guys that has clipped Robert Suarez. He gets him today. Flicked it the other way, which not a home run I expected to see from Verdugo. I know he flicked balls off the monster, but those aren't homers. Doogie's really, really good part of this team. People are having fun starting to talk about, is there a way to keep him, which isn't worth having at this moment. But and he has been everything we could have ever asked for, and the numbers aren't even crazy. But he has shown the hots and colds, and that he can be part of carrying this lineup.
He was the perfect fit for this team before you got to without Juan Soto. And we've done that a lot, so I don't need to do it more. But the defense has been a tier above what we thought. I mentioned the potential sack fly play that he contained. Just his general coverage out there. And, I don't know, the at-bats feel good. It feels like Alex Verdugo.
Yeah. I mean, even his defensive reputation was graded out about average, and you knew he was going to get the tougher of the corner outfields with Soto being here, and I didn't know how that would look. Scouting report was that he was prone to Glaber-like mistakes in left field, and are those more impactful in an outfield where that can lead to multiple bases? And I honestly can't recall a single play that I've thought he really messed up on. So I've loved the defense. The hitting's a perfect fit. He has been what they needed.
Casually our cleanup hitter.
Yeah.
For all the talk about Volpe, Soto, Judge, Stanton, Rizzo. Doogie's been the constant in the 4 for a little bit now. That's a good one, Beebs. I'm going to finish off the most prestigious award of the show. I'm going to finish off with the 1.2 award.
1.2 award. That feels like the number of innings Michael Talkin threw today.
Oh. I think I'm going to end Memorial Day with Michael Talkin. This is a tribute. Jom, not here, a little under the weather. Stroman and Rodon need to be talked about. Both have been incredible. And when I was deciding, the other guy that I think needs to be talked about just a little bit more is Trevino, just because he's been very good. Stroman and Rodon both have 1.2 WAR on the season.
I like that.
11 games started, a 2.95 ERA for Rodon. I just had Stroman 1.2, a 2.76 ERA, and 11 games started. Again, two guys that were question marks of sorts coming into the season. When we put it together on Stroman, we knew it was going to work. We knew Stroman was going to have at least one great stretch, and he was going to feed off the fans, and the fans were going to feed off him. And when we were looking at consistency in our rotation, he had the highest option for that. Rodon, think about some of those conversations and what we've talked about. And we've got quotes about Rodon saying he's comfortable now and New York feels like home. and the stat line backs it up. So all of these incredible starting pitching numbers. Again, kudos to Heel and Schmidt because not a lot of people had them on the bingo card. But Stroman and Rodon, whether vibes or pure pitching, ERAs that are in the 2, they've been fantastic.
Yeah.
They give him a chance every day. That was Booney's quote.
Yeah.
Booney's
Oh, anybody else we gotta get anything
Yeah,
out? The catchers or
I just mentioned
whatever?
Trevino when I was thinking about giving him an award. His April and May OPS is both right around 800 flat. So for those 2 months, he's got the couple games in May against the Astros he did not hit. So that's kind of the loophole there. But he has been an 800 OPS guy for 2 months now, which is insane. Oswaldo made a nice play. Probably going to be seeing less of Oswaldo, huh?
Yeah. I guess early on there'll still be some mixes. I was trying to figure out what the plan could be for this upcoming series because DJ coming back, they're going to not have him play all 3 games, right? But I think Tyler Alexander and Patrick Sandoval both lefty, and they're not going to not play DJ game 1. So are they going to sit him versus lefty? I don't know.
Okay.
Or they play him all 3 and DJ will sit the Jordan Hicks game in San Francisco or something. But they'll find spots for Oswaldo.
Yeah, do they give Glaber a rest day? Luke Weaver gives up a homer. It's obviously whatever. He's been incredible. I don't know. I'm interested to see the next steps after he went through his hot streak. Fernando Tatis gets you. Like, who cares? But he did give up a swing to Jackson Merrill a couple hitters before or after that would have been a home run in a lot of ballparks that weren't San Diego at night. So something to watch for. He's sneaky, giving up 4 home runs this year. That's the most out of the bullpen as we ride the weave. Or weave the ride? Dreamweave. Just something to watch for him.
We sort of said Soto's name a whole lot, sort of didn't say it a lot. Either way, his return to San Diego, and I was trying all weekend to think of a joke about him and Judge both being former Padres, and I could never think of one.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Judge played that perfectly. People forget. I think that's it. I hope everyone enjoys your Memorial Day weekend. Whether you already are or maybe you got some planned tomorrow. Good for you. A fun summer of Yankees baseball coming, including us talking to the manager on Tuesday. That's when you see us next. So thank you, everyone. And I'd say let's go Yanks. Tell them, Grandma.
Go Yankees.
You are mother.
All in Play premiere is right now on Warehouse Games. I'm playing. It's whatever.
Send them.